one really has to wonder just what the hell Netflix was thinking with this whole Queen Cleopatra debacle. Because if they wanted negative press, they certainly got it. They managed to piss off their fan base, piss off the people of Egypt while also calling them racist. They just pretty much dove headfirst into this mess because, like I stated before, you have people who want to rewrite history to be whatever they claim it should be. That's what they're doing. This is not some fantasy that they did. This is a docu-series, which is in turn a docu-drama. It's a documentary. That's what you're doing. You're doing a documentary. And rather than do it historically accurate, you decided, no, we're going to take liberties and, change it for these so-called modern times, for these modern audiences who literally hate the crap out of it. And when people do that, they come out and they call them racists and all sort of stuff. Well, let's take a look at Queen Cleopatra's Rotten Tomatoes score. It's still at 2%. It was at 1%, as I said in the previous video. It's still at 2%. It's 2% rotten, and the reviews from the critics are at 11%. So nobody cares about this garbage. This show has been ripped a new one. It's, from what I understand, even if you take away the whole race swapping thing, the race swapping thing is a major factor, but even if you take that away, they say that this series is just ridiculous. People are saying that, it doesn't seem historically accurate at all. They're literally trying to change things, as I said, to make up history to be whatever they want it to be. Well, that does not come without some serious consequences, because now woke failed. Netflix's Queen Cleopatra appears to have worst audience score in TV history. Right? The worst audience score in TV history. And if you think that this is somebody that's saying, all the terrible series and stuff I have reviewed and all of this. And there was one just recently, and here's the shocker about it. Velma actually has a better review score than Queen Cleopatra. Right? Velma's audience score rating is at 7%. It's locked because that show is finished now. It's at 7%, and the reviews from the critics are at 40%. But check out Queen Cleopatra at 2% and 11%. So this show actually turned out to be worse than Velma. That is an accomplishment in of itself, but you had to really fail. You had to really and truly want to fail to do this. Honestly, you have to want to fail to be worse than Velma. Because every episode of Velma was terrible. But you have to really want to fail to be worse than Velma. Really want to be. Let's check out this. Netflix's docudrama Queen Cleopatra launched 2 weeks ago and now looks to have earned the unenviable honor of drawing the worst audience score in TV history. Forbes magazine reports the controversial production has not just garnered the lowest audience score in Netflix history on debut, it has essentially the lowest audience score possible on Rotten Tomatoes at 1%. Well, like I said, it was at 1% for a little while. It's at 2% now. It may very well go back down, or it may reach to 3%, But it could just stay at 2% and done. But it's at 2% right now. Not a 10%, a 1%, but at 2 now. Although Forbes report it has later stumbled upwards to hit the giddy heights of 2%. Still an unprecedented low. Yeah. The outlet acknowledged the basement score, saying fans usually rate things higher than critics, even bad shows, and the point being the 1% audience score seems borderline mathematically impossible, even with the controversy the film has attracted. The documentary, which is part of the African Queen series, reports to be an exploration of the rise and fall of the last pharaoh of Egypt. It was released on May 10th. Now, if this is about the last pharaoh of Egypt, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? But of course, they can't come out and just admit that they made garbage and it failed because now it has the worst audience score in TV history. No, it's everybody else's fault. Because according to this article from British Vogue, let's just call the outrage around Queen Cleopatra what it is: racism. It's always that. You see, these people have hijacked these words. There was a time someone was an actual racist and was really, they were actually a racist. You don't get that anymore. Why? Because they have used these words as shields for anything. If they intentionally swap a character's race just because they want to take some diversity box and enter into their happy woke crowdfunding group that they have, or whatever the hell you want to call them, and people rightfully point out and say this does not make sense, this is not who the character is, even if it is in fantasy, they turn around and call you racist. They say that you're a racist for not loving the crap that they're doing. But it never works the other way. They'll never take a black character and make that person white. No, that's a problem. That's a problem. When they decide to race swap characters who historically have never looked like this, that's a different thing. You understand me? It's now racist to have any kind of outrage around Queen Cleopatra, because the country of Egypt is upset. They are coming out and say that, you know, they don't like you misappropriating their culture. And if these people really are as inclusive as they claim to be, they would never do this. Because doing this is tantamount to destroying someone's culture. The very thing you claim to care about and claim to want, all this diversity and all the representation that you keep hammering about. But you're not doing that. You're going in there, you're doing whatever you want. When you say the people of Egypt, the government of Egypt has a problem with it, you're calling them racist. And now they're suing you, and that's a problem. But well, what I've come to understand, Egypt has decided to make their own documentary series about Cleopatra, and I hope for one hope to God it'll be much better than whatever the hell this was. You understand me? But no, you have an audience score like this, but still it's not your fault. You understand me? You have this article saying that, you know, a woke fail, Netflix's Queen Cleopatra appears to have worst audience score in TV history. It's still not your fault. Why? Because everybody else is racist. It's all about racism. Not about people actually wanting something done correctly, you know. No, it's about racism. Well, one article asked the pretty obvious questions on something that I have been saying for a little while now that could have been done. Salon has this article here. The question isn't why cast a black Cleopatra, but rather why not profile another African queen. Yes, Netflix's Queen Cleopatra has its moments, but do we really need another take on this superstar of history? Well, regardless of whether you decide to do Cleopatra, whatever, there are other African queens you could have done a series about. But no, because Cleopatra is so widely known and so famous, you decided, let me go in there, race swap her. That's what you're doing, race swap her, and acting like, you know, if anybody has a problem with that, you're the racist bigot, not us, for doing this. You could have they asked the question here, why not profile another African queen? Because as I've said this many times before, and I will keep saying it again, it's the name that sells. That's what they want. These people have no confidence in themselves to build things on their own. They could have done a series on Nefertiti, right? From she's a black African queen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, black African queen. You could have done a series on her, or or even if I'm incorrect, there are other African queens that you could have done a series on. And if you do it really good, market it well, it would have been a hit. But no, Cleopatra is widely known. She's quite possibly the most famous ruler of Egypt. Well, one of the most famous rulers of Egypt. She was the last pharaoh or something like that. Okay, let's go in there, race changer for modern audiences, and then come out now at anybody who doesn't like it, they're a racist. That's what you're doing. Because you have no confidence in doing something on your own. You could have made a series on your own about another African queen and built it up. But no, they don't do that, because what I keep saying, it's the name that sells. So here we have it. Worst audience score in TV history, 2% from the 2% audience score, 11% from the critics. It was so bad, Velma was better than it. That's an accomplishment in of itself. You were so bad, Velma was better than you. This is what you get when you don't listen to people and you figure you could rewrite history to fit your own woke mindset. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.